Ange Postecoglou and Heung-min Son have been nominated for Premier League awards. The under-21s are now in the semi-finals of the Premier League Cup. A former Premier League midfielder has stated that James Madison should be given the ball more from his teammates, and he looks frustrated. Jamie Carragher has stated that Tottenham must improve defensively. Reports are stating that Spurs are interested in Leicester midfielder Dewsbury-Hall, and the 5 players expected to leave the club this summer.
Chris Cowlin. Fan cams. Club news. Transfer news. Match previews. Legend interviews. Spurs women. Press conferences. Covering everything Tottenham and England.
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all keeping well. This is another edition of Tottenham News, but I'll be going through all the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. So let's start with some good news. Tottenham Hotspur boss Ange Postecoglou has been shortlisted for the March Barclays Premier League Manager of the Month award. We enjoyed 3 wins in 4 in the month, including a huge 4-0 victory against Aston Villa at Villa Park on the 10th of March. We also beat Palace 3-1 at home and came from behind to win late against Luton on the 30th of March. Tottenham Hotspur captain Heung-min Son is also up for an EA Sports Premier League Player of the Month award for March, after producing a league high of 5 goal involvements in the month, scoring 3 goals and assisting 2. A report has just been published by London World, and they are stating 5 players are set to leave Tottenham this summer. It states here Spurs will have to clean up their house in the summer as they look to shape the squad to fit what Ange Postecoglou wants. The first player on their list is Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. It states he admitted he wasn't happy with the minutes he's got this season, and with Atletico Madrid and Juventus monitoring, you just might not know. The second one on the list, Tanguy Ndombele, he just doesn't look like he's found his fit at Tottenham and would rather be elsewhere, doing well in Turkey, and Spurs are likely to cut their losses. Number 3 on the list is Javert Tanganga. Tanganga came through the ranks at Spurs, but given his style of play, it's hard to see his future at Spurs, doing himself a lot of good at Millwall. Number 4 on the list is Jed Spence. It states here, brought to the club back in 2022. Jed Spence is now into his 3rd loan spell with the club, and he's 2nd under Ange Postecoglou, which tells you everything you need to know. Number 5 on the list from London World is Sergio Reguilon. It states here, recent interview about Ange Postecoglou would not have gone down well. Loan spells at Manchester United and Brentford can aid his exit. Now, quite a lot of media outlets have covered this story on Thursday. This one is from Team Talk. Tottenham are reportedly the latest Premier League club tracking Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, and Leicester City reporting £90 million in losses for last year mean his move is a distinct possibility. Dewsbury-Hall will not be a championship player next season, one way or another. He has shown this season that he is far too good at that level, with 11 goals and 13 assists. TalkSport have also reported on this story, and they are stating that Spurs are looking for midfield reinforcements, as it looks like Pierre-Emile Højbjerg will finally leave in the summer after looking likely to in the last couple of transfer windows. As such, they have landed on Dewsbury-Hall, who played alongside James Madison at Leicester and could link up with him again in the Spurs midfield after the pair were 2 of the Foxes' best players last term. Premier League legend, now TV pundit, Jamie Carragher has spoken out about Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham defensively and said what people forget about Pep Guardiola's football is that his teams are always the best defensively, or certainly one of the best. My worry is how many goals you concede. That has to change at Spurs. People always talk about Pep's football, and we talk about him with the ball, but off the ball is fantastic as well. That would have to be one big shift if Tottenham are going to win the biggest trophies. Sky Sports pundit Paul Merson has been talking about James Madison's performance against West Ham. He said he needs to get on the ball more. They don't give it to him as often as they should. They should be saying, every time you get on the ball, give it to James Madison. I don't think that happens. He looks frustrated. The Daily Mail have just reported that British billionaire and former Spurs owner Joe Lewis, 87, may dodge prison time because of his age and medical issues, as he is due to be sentenced on Thursday for insider trading. Now, many congratulations to the Tottenham Hotspur under-21s. On Tuesday evening, they played in the quarter-finals of the Premier League Cup, beating Aston Villa 3-1 away from home. The development side are now in the semi-finals of the Premier League Cup. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about Postecoglou and captain Heung-min Son being nominated for Premier League awards. Of course, Manager of the Month and Player of the Month, respectively. Postecoglou, in my opinion, is doing a fantastic job. We are only a couple of points away off top four. And, if you would have asked most Spurs fans at the start of the season, we will be anywhere near the top four in Ange Postecoglou's first season, I don't think a lot of people would have said yes. I think a lot of people would have expected us still to be outside the European spots. So, yes, there has been bumps in the road. Yes, there has been a couple of potholes. But overall, let's see the bigger picture. Ange Postecoglou has worked his magic. We have been entertained this season. Not in every game. We haven't seen Ange ball in every game. But it is a process. He wants the players to give absolutely everything. He is trying to install so many things into this squad, into this team. And sometimes things do take time. I'm quite an impatient person. I want trophies. I want success. But as they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. And this is going to take time. Can I see progress in this squad? Can I see progress in this team? Absolutely. While I'm seeing progress on the pitch and off the pitch, I will be a fairly happy Spurs fan. Until then, I'm fully behind Ange and, completely behind Ange and what he's doing. And, let's hope that we can finish in that Champions League spot at the end of the season and be playing Champions League football and, of course, have another fantastic transfer window. That is ultimately what we need. And, I'll come on to players possibly leaving and coming in a second. Heung-min Son being nominated for the Player of the Month award. Of course, he has been involved in a number of goals during March. Sonny is my favourite all-time Spurs player. I think he gives absolutely everything. I think he's a fantastic leader. I know Son has had some criticism of late. But, he's now played 400 games in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt. I think the guy just gives everything all of the time. He wears his heart on his sleeve. And he is a leader. And you can see that he really cares. He wants the team to win. He gives his absolute best all of the time. And I love to see that. And I think that every single Spurs fan, that's all we ever ask any player, to give absolutely everything. Don't give up. And Heung-min Son certainly does that. And we know that he can score goals. We know that he can assist. And we know that he works extremely hard. Now, London World reported 5 players expected to leave the club at the end of the season. Ndombele, Tanganga, Reguilon, Spence and Højbjerg. Absolutely. I could probably add another couple to that list as well. Joe Rodon, of course, is out on loan. I expect him to leave on a permanent basis as well. Brian Hill will probably look to leave the club. Giovanni Lo Celso, he will probably look to leave as well to get regular game time. Although Lo Celso, and I said this on the podcast the other day, although Lo Celso has shown some glimpses in recent years, since signing him, he's never had a good run in the team, and he has been scuppered by so many injuries at the football club. I know it's not his fault. Injuries are part and parcel of football, but I just think that Giovanni Lo Celso, I think for him personally, and I think for the football club, if Spurs can get a decent fee in for Lo Celso in the summer, I think it's probably going to be best for both parties that we actually offload Lo Celso. Remember, Ange Postecoglou is still building his team. He is still building his squad. And I think that we are going to have another big window coming up in the summer, especially if we are in the Champions League, and even if we are in the Europa League, I expect a big transfer window coming up. Ange getting in the players that he wants to take this club forward. I know we've been linked again to Dewsbury-Hall. Of course, he has played alongside James Madison at Leicester. It's going to be an interesting window. It's going to be an interesting window to see what happens. But I do expect the transfers to be done early. Again, of course, Fabrizio Romano was on the channel last week. He said exactly the same thing. He expects the transfer window to be busy again for Spurs and early on, which is great to see and great to hear. Jamie Carragher has stated that Spurs must improve defensively. I completely agree. I think the last couple of games certainly show that. The goal that we conceded against Luton at home, the goal that we conceded away at West Ham in the last game that we played, of course, on Tuesday evening, it was too easy. It was too easy for the opposition. And I think when you've got players like of course, the Luton game, it was Dragushin and Romero. And then, of course, for the West Ham game, it's Van der Ven and Romero. When you've got a centre-back pairing so good, with real quality, we should not be conceding goals as easy as we have done in the last couple of games. Of course, Paul Merson has said, James Madison needs to get on the ball more. It's fair to say, and without sounding really critical of James Madison, we have not seen anywhere near the level we know that he can provide and give us. In those first 10 games or so, that pre-Chelsea game, he was absolutely sensational. We haven't seen that since his injury. So let's hope that we see that in the remaining Premier League games. And of course, we need to pick up a number of wins to try and secure that Champions League spot. The under-21s are in the semi-finals. Many congratulations to them. Of course, they are flying high this season. Wayne Burnett is doing a fantastic job. And I would love to see, although, I love Spurs to, always have a strong 11. I would love to see some of these development players get some game time at some point from now until the end of the season, because players like Jamie Donnelly, Santiago, Alfie Dorrington, they've been absolutely brilliant. There are so many players in there. Sunset Bell has done really well as well. There are so many players in there doing really, really well for the under-21s, and they're flying high in the Premier League 2 competition. And of course now in the semi-finals of the Premier League Cup. So we expect to see trophies on the under-21 stage this season. Of course, we won a couple last season, the development sides and the youth sides. And of course, the Spurs women will be in FA Cup semi-final action. So there is a chance to go to Wembley. So, best of luck to them. But so far, of course, we face Nottingham Forest on Sunday. Nuno Espirito Santo's return. That's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a difficult game. There are no easy games in the Premier League, but if you want to be playing Champions League football, that Nottingham Forest game on Sunday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, of course, it has been rearranged. It was originally at the weekend, then it went to Monday night, and then they've changed it back now to the Sunday. But if we want to be getting Champions League football back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you've got to be winning games like that. And another interesting stat before I go, 5 years now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. How quick has that gone? But again, as I say on most of these episodes of Tottenham News, I want to see trophies, and I have faith that Ange Postecoglou is the man to deliver a trophy in the future at Spurs. So let's hope that happens very soon. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.